What's going on, guys? Pretty good show for you today. We got Tiger Woods, what happened at the Barclays, and the victory for Adam Scott. We got a little college bets with Aaron Fauché talking who you're going to pick this season. Got a couple good bets for you, and has his best bet. Make sure you tune in. Oh, and welcome to the roundtable. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's installment of A&K Roundtable Sports. I'm here with Aaron. Aaron, a little toasty outside, but I felt like we needed a change of scenery.
Yeah, we actually got some pretty good suggestions from one of our production managers. Thank you very much, Kim. Hopefully in the next month or so we'll be able to make a lot better videos. I know it's hard to watch the videos, but we're going to make them a little better for you. Kevin, what are we talking about today?
On the slate for today, we got just coming off a big PGA Tour tournament, not a major, but the Barclays in Jersey City, and we had a Liberty National Golf Course in Tiger Woods, where he had almost one of the most monumental comebacks. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I felt like it was scripted. 13th hole on the tee, par 3, has a hybrid, a fairway wood out, hits it 50 yards to the left, out of the fairway, not even close. Drops to his knees. He was battling back spasm, complaining from a soft mattress that he had at the hotel, and so I mean, you know, whatever they can, people everything, every little thing matters to some people, and so Tiger Woods drops to his knees. We're going to provide a clip for you guys, and drops to his knees, can't stand up, looks like he could barely walk, and ended up bogeying that hole. So he fell 2 back. Next hole, another bogey, 3 back. So he's going into 16, and the leader's already finished. Adam Scott, who actually ended up winning the tournament, was 11 under. He's already done for the tournament. So Tiger Woods just has to catch him for a playoff. So 16th hole comes around, Tiger birdies. 17th hole comes around, Tiger birdies. Tiger needs the birdie this 18th hole, and everyone's rooting for the guy. You know, he's battling a tough back, is dying right there. And he comes in, hits a good tee shot, middle of the fairway, about 290. Sitting pretty well for a par 4, just has to get it on the green, close for a good putt. Puts a good shot with a 6-iron and hits it off the green, off the back end of the green and onto the fringe. So he's about 26 feet out for a birdie putt. Off the green, tough read, takes him about 10 minutes to make the read, and then finally gets ready, makes the putt and puts it 2 inches from the cup. An absolute just shock and awe. Everyone's just, no, Tiger was this close. Adam Scott ended up winning. Gary Woodland was a guy who had consistent chances to catch him. He had 3 birdie putts. He missed every single one. He ended up 10 back, and so then Adam Scott, who ended up winning the Barclays and now is sitting in 2nd place in the FedEx Cup standings, is looking pretty good to catch Tiger and maybe pass him for the FedEx Cup. So upcoming tournament is the Deutsche Bank Championship at TPC Boston, which is won this weekend. Hopefully Tiger, he needs to play in it if he wants a shot to hold on to his lead for the FedEx Cup, and hopefully he can win that one. But it's interesting stuff because it's really tight. Tiger with 4,000 points in the FedEx standings, and Scott with 38.47, and then Phil Mickelson from ASU product Go Devils is sitting back at 2.6, 2.4. I mean, it's up for grabs, but right now it looks like it's up for Tiger and Adam Scott to win this title. I mean, I know you're not necessarily close with golf, but I mean, everyone loves Tiger Woods. Everyone knows Tiger Woods and the money that he makes, and he's had there's been scandal and controversy with Tiger. But would you want Tiger Woods to win this or what?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm not very close with golf, but one of the reasons I will watch is if Tiger's making one of his legendary runs, and I know I'm not alone, because you look at social media, Twitter. I mean, I remember this past weekend that it was just exploding with Tiger Woods this, Tiger Woods that. I know you were tweeting about it. So yeah, I would definitely watch it. Especially, it's crazy to think in golf how dominant Tiger used to be, and now it's to me it seems like a new guy wins every single weekend. I mean, there used to be Rory McIlroy was the next up and coming thing, and he struggled, and then I mean, Ricky Fowler, another young guy. There was that 14-year-old. So I mean,
Bubba Watson, another one that's always named.
Yeah, so there really isn't a dominating figure in golf right now, and so I kind of feel like everyone's rooting for Tiger to be kind of that next, or at least return to the dominance he had. So yeah, I absolutely would love to see Tiger put it together.
Adam Scott and Justin Rose are two guys that they're really good friends, and they're always competitive, texting one another. And he's close right now to Tiger at the top of the board, so this is a very good chance that Adam Scott could be the next guy, but he's got to win. He's got to win some terms or have good finishes, and Tiger has to struggle, which could happen. So I mean, just want to get a little bit of golf out of the way, and so Aaron, I believe you have some college football talk. I know we had a college football video podcast last week, and we covered conferences and teams to look out for. Now you've got teams to look out for and teams to bet on for the entire season. Why don't you run us down with what you got?
Yeah, first of all, just an overview. These are with the game starting on Thursday and more importantly this Saturday. Some of you guys might be familiar with win totals from the college football season. It's essentially a season-long bet. Some of you guys may bet in weekly pick-em pools or whatever, or single game bets or whatever it may be. But there's also the element of the season-long bet where you follow a team. For instance, we have Alabama is their number is 11 wins for the entire season. They play 12 games, so it's basically over/under 11 wins. And these are 5 bets that I just kind of highlighted. I'll probably make these bets myself. So it'll last you the whole year. It'll give you something to root for, and there's really some pretty good value in there. So, as I said, I'll start off with Alabama. If you watched the podcast last week, they're our preseason favorite for national champion. Obviously, we're not alone. It seems like Alabama's mentioned at the top of every ranking.
Absolutely.
So they're playing 12 games in the SEC, which is usually, or 12 games, the majority of them in the SEC, and as you know, that's college football's toughest conference. But really, Alabama kind of drew a good schedule this year.
Absolutely, we talked about that last week.
And so I kind of expect them to go undefeated at 12-0. And the bet I'm suggesting you make is take over 11 on Alabama's win total, which is minus 115, which means you're laying $115 for every $100 you're going to win. So it's pretty much even odds right there. And the good thing about this bet is if Alabama does happen to slip up, I still expect them to win at least 11 games. So at worst, you're going to do is get your money back, because I don't see them losing twice. So essentially, the bet is, will they go 12-0 versus will they go 10-2? I don't see them going 10-2. So worst case scenario is you're going to get your money back. And I would like to think they're going to go undefeated and you're going to win this bet, because the only 3 games I see causing any trouble for them are on the road at Texas A&M, and that's whether Manziel will play or not.
To be determined at
yeah,
the moment
exactly.
with all the accusations thrown his way.
And right now they're a 7-point favorite in that game on the road at A&M. They lost that heartbreaker last year, so I expect them to beat up on the Aggies. And then at home later in the year against LSU, and LSU's kind of going through a transition period too. So the second one would be, so once again, that's over 11 wins for Alabama. The second one would be over 9.5 wins for Clemson. Last week in the podcast, we talked about Clemson and Florida State going back and forth in the ACC. And Florida State was actually my pick for a sleeper team, but I think the most consistent team in the ACC will be Clemson. They've got 3 big games. 2 of them are at home. They start the season off against Georgia, who's incredible, I think, with Aaron Murray. But outside of Murray, they've kind of been shaky in the past. And Clemson with Taj Boyd, you get a quarterback that's just as good as Aaron Murray. So they definitely have a chance to win that game. They got Georgia at home week 1. They got South Carolina later in the year, and then they got Florida State at home later in the year as well. So essentially, I figure they're going to win nine games elsewhere against the rest of their schedule. So all they got to do is win one of those 3 games against Georgia, South Carolina, or Florida State. With 2 of those 3 being at home, you got to figure if they're a top 10 team, they're going to cover one of those games. If not the 2 home games, we mentioned South Carolina has a chance to kind of falter because of their quarterback situation. So it wouldn't surprise me to win out South Carolina too. So if they do happen to lose one of those 9 wins we're already counting on, it's not out of the question to think they can pick up another win against one of those big three.
And how you mentioned that Clemson is playing at home against teams like Georgia and Florida State.
Exactly.
That's huge. If they were playing at Georgia, this bet would be a little bit more difficult because between the hedges and Georgia, that's a tough place to play.
Florida State as well. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
As much as I hyped Jameis Winston last week in the podcast, I mean he would be a first-year starting quarterback.
Name the starting quarterback you mentioned. You tweeted to me. Go Knowles.
And would be that Florida State games at the end of the year, so he'll have some experience, but that's still probably going to be close to a top 10 matchup. Going on the road in Death Valley, I mean, it's tough to win in Clemson, especially with Clemson's high-powered offense. So.
Absolutely. What else you got for us on the betting slate?
The next one is an under. I'm going under 4.5 wins for Kentucky. This is actually minus 155, so you get $155 to win 100. So a little bit worse odds, but still not too bad. And the thing about Kentucky, they went 2-10 last year. They got turnovers in the coaching staff, and they've done a lot better on the recruiting trail. And, their spring game actually got like the highest attendance in the history of that spring game. So everyone's excited for Kentucky football, but this is just one recruiting class coming in there. And you look at their schedule, and they play Louisville, Florida, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi State, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Tennessee.
On and on and on and on. All the teams, all these powerhouses.
Exactly, and so we mentioned Alabama having an easier SEC schedule. When you look at another team in Kentucky having an offer SEC schedule. I mean, teams like Mississippi State and Missouri and Tennessee, Vanderbilt, they're not the class of the SEC, but they're definitely better than Kentucky will be. And Kentucky has to go on the road and play a few of those teams. So Kentucky, with all the hype in the Lexington area about that program, this year just isn't their year in terms of schedule. So I'm taking under 4.5 wins for Kentucky. I feel pretty confident about that one.
I mean, the way you listed it and all the teams that you listed off, I mean, that seems like a pretty good bet.
Yeah,
pretty good bet to take. But I know you've got the best bet for us. And what is the best bet that you can put all the money on in the world?
The best bet I think this year is for the Louisville Cardinal over 10.5 wins, and that's minus 135, 135 for 100, which is actually pretty good odds. We mentioned last week, Kevin mentioned Louisville as his sleeper team with the outside shot at the BCS title game, and he mentioned then that they have a chance to go undefeated. They play 12 games. Remember, this is only over 10.5 wins.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing about this bet.
And that conference is
exactly
their schedule is very.
Is that this 10.5 wins allows them to lose a game. I know they catch Cincinnati on the road the last week of the year, but you got to figure. I would be very surprised if Louisville wasn't undefeated leading up to that game. Teddy Bridgewater is incredible. I know there's been a lot of hype of him, but trust me, it's deserved. He's a very strong coach. They got an incoming running back from Auburn, Dyer. I think he's going to be able to take some pressure off. But their toughest game is the last game of the year, and that game is probably going to have BCS game implications. So if there's a reason to get hyped up and play well in that game, even if they've already lost a game along the way, they're going to be motivated for that. So I don't see Louisville losing twice. So best bet is Louisville over 10.5 wins. You're getting great odds on it. And I think they'll be a fun team to watch along the way. So,
good.
So I think I'm going to end it right there. No need to go any further after you throw the grand finale out there. But for those of you friends that wager on college football, I mean, I know I'm big into the college game, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you like these picks, feel free to say so. If you hate them, feel free to say so. I know the college basketball blog, for those familiar with me, was a disaster. So you can't lose them all.
You're due for redemption.
Exactly. If you look at these teams, I mean, Alabama, Clemson, Louisville, those are the cream of the crop this year. 3 top 10 teams with veteran quarterbacks that you can rely on. And actually, the last one I would throw in there is McCarron at 10-1 to win the Heisman. I think that's a pretty good bet. Because you look at the other candidates, Clowney, I mean, a defensive player, Braxton Miller, Horvath. Those two guys and Bridgewater actually, those three guys have received so much hype going into the season. When you look back at past Heisman winners, it's kind of like, who's going to sneak up on you the most? Like last year, Manziel, you heard nothing about him in the preseason. I mean, he was a freshman, but as he gained steam throughout the year, I mean, everybody was jumping on that bandwagon. So you see Clowney and Miller and Bridgewater, if they struggle initially out of the gate, I mean, that's going to really hurt their Heisman chances. But McCarron, as we mentioned, with his soft schedule, and I mean, a two-time national championship winner.
And the team he's playing.
Yeah, exactly. And not a lot is going to be asked to do of him, and he had 30 to 40 touchdowns and receptions last year. And so you figure if Alabama's rolling, and he's at the helm, and he's got a soft schedule at 10 to 1 odds, I mean, that's a chance I'd be willing to take. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please let me know if you agree or disagree with these. I love to talk about college football and also the wagering side of it. It's funny to get everyone's opinion. So, Kevin, thank you for the golf picks.
Yeah, I mean, upcoming tournament this weekend. Like I said, Deutsche Bank Championship at TPC Boston. Tune in. Is Tiger gonna be able to play it? Is he gonna be healthy enough to finish well to stay atop the standings, or will Adam Scott, Phil Mickelson overcome maybe Kuchar, Justin Rose? They're guys to look out for. So, I mean, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you like the new intro that we had made by the production manager.
We're getting better. I promise you these podcasts will be better. Yeah. These videos, or whatever you may call it, I promise you they'll be better. I do have one question before you leave. Does Tiger win a major in the next year?
In the next year? That's tough. I mean, like you said, you got guys that are coming out that are playing really good golf. Justin Rose is another guy that I really like watching. Snedker is another one, just really good players. But I can't say Tiger's going to win one of those. I don't see anything happening for. I mean, based on this new injury, this could be his last season of golf if he doesn't get healthy enough. Hopefully that'd be a good way to go out. I think winning the FedEx Cup and then maybe calling it a day if these injuries can't heal themselves. So I'd say no, Tiger's not going to win a major in the next year. I mean, I would love it if he does. I'm a huge Tiger fan, but based on how he couldn't even bend over to pick up a golf ball out of the Cup this past weekend, I can't say yes right now to that question. But good question. Thank you very much for the betting picks and a little bit of golf. Thanks, guys. Like I said, hope you enjoy the intro. A little bit different feel to the podcast today, a lot shorter, so hopefully you guys can tune in and give us some feedback. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy, guys.